Hey guys, so Metal Pete talked me into pulling out one of the Kohl's gold lines. I've told the story many times. I pulled 10 fans out of a Kohl's grocery store that's being torn down. 8 of them were this style of gold line, and the other were the newer style motor with the older style blades and canopies. It was these blades and canopies with the newer stepped motor. But it did not appear that, it didn't appear that they swapped the motors. It just appears that that was a version that was made, you know. That version has turned up a few times, actually. So, of those 10 fans, I think 5 of them, they were all, okay, of those 10 fans, only 2 of them worked when I removed them. And one of the ones that worked when I removed it was the other style motor, and one was this style motor. And even they didn't work fully. Like, the bearings were pretty stuck, but they still spun a little bit. And the rest of them were completely frozen up. What had happened, there'd been a leak in the roof. It happens often. It's how oftentimes we get these fans rusted shut. There'd been a leak in the roof, and water ran down the down rods into the motors. Somebody really needs to design an industrial fan that has a down rod that water can't run down.
I think the Envirofans are more waterproof. That's the purpose of those fans.
Of the 10 fans, I think 5 had motors that were toasted beyond use, and 5 I was able to salvage. And so when we were talking about the rusty contact bearings, Metal Pete said, well, can you pull out one of the old gold lines to see how those bearings held up? And they held up surprisingly well. None of these are noisy. They all run like new fans. And so we're gonna go through this one. I'm gonna do the controls just because I'm kind of excited because I haven't played with one of these in a long time. So first we'll do the 0 to high. So we're just gonna turn it on high, and we're gonna watch the current draw.
Okay.
So starts out at 1.02. These are rated at 0.9, and let's let it drop. These perform differently than the 1 amp rated ones. The 1 amp rated ones are a little bit slower, surprisingly enough. Dropping down 0.94, 0.93. You can see that runs like the bearings have never had any problems.
That is just amazing, you know.
Yeah. These were all except one of these were completely frozen up, and one of them was mostly frozen up. It spun very slowly with power applied on high, and worked intermittently. 0.92 is where it's hanging out at. It's flopping, as Metal Pete would say, between 0.92 and 0.91. And yeah, it's amazing. I spent hours and hours down in my parents' basement with a can of WD-40, just coaxing them back into life, and managed to yeah, that's a good air mover at a distance. It's a little bit hard for us to gauge. I have so much stuff moved around right now to get these out that everything's not in the same position it would otherwise be in, but you can still tell that you gonna go back there, or should I just do the spin down?
Oh, why don't you just take a look?
So yeah, these are my favorite version of the gold line. These are the ones that I saw the most as a child.
Yep.
There was, the Kohl's had them. There was a hardware store that had them. I've talked in detail about that. I tried to get those.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know any place that still has this version. There are a few places left that still have the 1 amp version, and there are a few places left that still have the version after this. But I can't think of any places that still have... Well, I know that thrift store in Rockford still has 5 of these. They had 6, and then one of them got replaced with a new gold line. I should really go in there and offer to replace the rest of them, but I offered to buy them before, and they didn't have much luck. There's a Goodwill in Rockford, Illinois, that has 5 of these.
Okay.
So, and one of them was recently replaced with a new gold line.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. You know, normally when you see they get replaced with some junk.
Yeah.
But they managed to replace it with a new gold line, which is pretty cool. So, a friend of mine has one of these new in box, too. I've been trying to convince him to sell or trade it to me, and have not successfully done so.
That video of
Yeah.
Yeah, new in the box. Well, if it were new in the box to me, I wouldn't trade it away.
Yeah.
I mean, just like I'm not going to part away my Vasco Charleston. I would.
Yeah.
That's a first generation.
I don't like the first generation. Actually, my favorite Vasco Charlestons are second generation.
Really?
But yeah,
Huh.
I don't like that boxy motor on the first generation.
Huh. okay. Well,
But, yeah, I know, I have bad taste.
well, it's just the fact that I found a first generation.
Yeah?
And they're less common, and...
They are the least common of the Charlestons. I think the third generation are the most common. It's hard to tell. Second and third are neck and neck in terms of most common.
Sure, but the fact is, having a first is
Yeah?
kind of like you got something that's more rarer that you just don't want to part away with. I wouldn't...
Bearings are great in this. I also thought that there was a possibility that having been sitting in this box for so long, that maybe they would stick back up again. But they're doing great. And this was, like I said, they were breasted all the way shut, except for one, and who knows if this was that one or not. And then it was me in high school with a can of WD-40. I don't even think I had any oil. I think I just had WD-40, and I just filled the motors up, and I let them sit overnight. And then I would, work them loose, because I was in high school. I was probably in 10th grade. I didn't have a whole else lot to do, I had a girlfriend and stuff, but, what could we really do in high school? I was in a band, but we didn't gig every night, and, so I just had spent time down there playing with these. Okay, so let's see how it does with the decade box. 1 microfarad, 2, 3, 4. Starts on 4, drawing 0.2.
Okay.
Here, stop it by hand. I'm going to try again with 3. I'm just curious.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
See, it starts, but it stalls. 4. Yeah, I knew 3 was close.
but at least the Emerson control could just work on it.
Oh, you know what? I know where there's one of these hanging. There's a thrift store here in Madison that has one of these hanging, and it's run by this senile old lady. And I've offered to buy it, and she just doesn't understand what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I think I'm going to try again. I think I'll go by there one of these days, and I'll offer her like $100 or something. Enough money that she would be crazy to turn. Maybe I'll start with 50, but I'll offer enough money that she'd be crazy to turn it down. So that's 4. Here's 5.25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just really nice how well this works, despite its
5, huh?
Yep, 5.25, 6.3, 7.34.
I just love how Reese goes. It's
8.39. Yeah,
Reese
is a funny kid.
Oh yeah.
9.44.
10.
10.48.
5, 10, 15. I could probably use.
Yeah, 5, 10, 15 would be perfect for one of these. That's what I have on the ones downstairs, and those are 1 amp, so it's even a little bit different. Those speeds are a little bit slower since it's a 1 amp. 12.51, 13.55, 14.58, 15.61.
Let's see.
Give it a minute to catch up.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, then this would work on my
16.65,
speed.
17.67, 18.69, 19.72, 20.74.
Yeah, like you said, these are 0.9, while the newest gold lines are actually 0.7. Yep. Yeah, they kept dropping the current over time.
21 was 0.75, 22.77, 23.78, 24.79, 25.8, 26.81, 27.82, 28.83, 29.83, 30.84, 31.84, 32.84, 35.86. 40 is 8.8, and then high is 9.4.
Or
it's gonna drop, I guess.
Yeah.
What ended up dropping to? Yep, 9.2.
Yep.
Okay. Now these were installed on solid state controls in the coals. It was a really weird control configuration. They had 10 fans, 3 solid state controls, and a thermostat. But the thermostat was in the boiler room, so it was measuring the temperature in the boiler room. I don't really understand why the temperature in the boiler room had anything to do with when the fans would be on or not. maybe the idea was that when the boiler is on is when the fans would kick on. That's the only thing I can think of. Can you stop it with your hand?
Oh.
I can't understand any other reason why that would be relevant. Maybe when the boiler was on.
He said a timer as well, and I thought maybe whether the boiler was on and they stayed on after a certain period of time when the boiler goes off to continue spreading the air.
I don't know what they were thinking. I said there was a timer as well?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but that's probably, if I said it, it's got to be true.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made that up, so yeah, they must have been. So it was a thermostat and a timer, and because of the fact that they didn't work, I couldn't figure out what actually controlled what and how it worked, because there was no, So that's point 0.14. I'll turn it to 3 o'clock, 0.24. Hear a little bit of hum, but not an egregious amount.
Well, these typically
about
were
1:30, 0.42. Noon, 0.63. It's dropping, though.
But yeah, the hum is not loud enough.
No. These would have included a solid-state control in the box.
Yeah?
About 10:30 or so.
I thought they wouldn't
0.8.
include any kind of control in the box.
They used to.
Huh, because if you're
Dropping
buying a ton of
0.78.
them...
Yeah, they used to include individual controls, and then you could buy a bulk control, too, if you wanted to. And then high with the solid-state is 0.9.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, well, this was our last fan of the night.
Okay.
And, so I hope you've enjoyed the videos of today. Man, I gotta figure out something to do with these, because I love having these. I don't want to put them downstairs and get these ones dirty. I figured the 1 amp ones are better ones to get dirty. So I need a little bit cleaner place to put them than a shop. But, yeah, I really like these. I'm glad that I have them. Plus, this was my first commercial fan rescue, This was the first time I ever scored fans successfully out of a commercial place. So, that was really cool. And my dad helped me, my uncle helped me, my cousins helped me, and my girlfriend at the time helped me. And, so we, yeah, it was a whole fun time. We rented a lift and everything. And, so, thanks for watching.